Hello, dear students. Welcome all of you in virtual video class of English drama. In last two videos, we studied origin and history of comedy. Let us turn towards next points in this module, and that is study of definition and elements of drama. Okay, wait for a minute. Here I am sharing my PPT, which helps you to study. Yes, English drama. We are studying now comedy as a form, and in last period we studied origin and history of comedy. We completed it. Now we turn towards our next point, that is the definition and elements of comedy. In this part we are going to study definitions of the comedy and what is meant by comedy, and then we will discuss what is comedy and elements of the comedy. Okay, look here. Now I am telling you definition. Comedy is a drama in which the characters are placed more or less humorous situation. The movement is light and often mirthful, and the play ends in general goodwill and happiness. This is the first definition. This definition is given, definition is given by W.T. Young. It remains the noted of the name of the writer, but W.T. Young gives this definition. Through this definition, we understand that comedy is a drama. In this drama, it is a part of drama, it is a type of drama where the characters are placed more or less in humorous situation. Characters are placed in humorous situation, and the movement is very light and often it is mirthful. And the end of the play is, or the play ends in general goodwill and happiness, means happy ending is very important, mirth is important, and moment is light. Then next definition is comedy is a form of dramatic constructions that enlists and narrates mundane happening of the world with a humorous flavors or even eccentric flavors. Means here is also comedy is a form of dramatic constructions, means it is a type of drama that enlists and narrates the mundane happening of the world. Mundane means vyavaharija, or this whatever we call it in ihalok. Yes, what is happening on this earth. Means here in comedy there are, what happens in this earth or in this world is stated or presented in with different flavors or different happenings, or they may be eccentrics, right? Now these are the both are the definitions of comedy according to me. You are facing the second term exam also online, so you should keep in the mind the important aspects of the comedy. There is no need to by the definitions of comedy for this exam, but you have to remember, keep in mind the words, you have to understand the definition. It helps very much, or it is very useful in writing MCQs. Right? Now, what is comedy? Our next point is that what is comedy? Comedy, the tone of comedy is light and amusing. Comedy's tone is light and amusing and usually ends with merrymaking and happy resolution. Means comedy ends with merrymaking, with happy mood, happy resolution. Here we get solutions, resolution also. We get resolution for every problems. Comedy stands for vitality of life, vitality and life. Vitality means also chetana or jivantapana. Means comedy stands for vitality and life. It is designed to entertain the audience or the readers nowadays, because in ancient periods the comedy presented on the stage, but today comedies or tragedies or totally dramas were read by the readers, and that's why nowadays comedy is designed to entertain the audience as well as the readers, or the readers as well as audience. It involves laughing at others' mistakes and errors. In comedy, what we see? In comedy, we see that laughing at others' mistake and errors. It makes us laugh for others' mistake, but here requires sense of intelligence, intelligent use of observation and critique also. Here we require the intelligent use of observation and critique also. Then one thing and very important thing is that it is not supposed to be insulting. Means laughing at others' mistakes or errors is not supposed to be insulting, but it is supposed, or but it is playful accepting of human vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities means qualities of human. Means laughing at others' mistakes or errors is accepted, is not an insult, but it is accepted as the human vulnerabilities. Here needs, or it requires sense of intelligence for use observation and critique in his writings. This is what comedy. Okay, are you understood what is comedy? Comedy is a its comedy tone is light and amusing one, which ends with merrymaking and happy resolution. Comedy stands for vitality and life. Comedy designed to entertain the audience, laughing at others' mistake and errors. This is comedy only. It requires sense of the intelligent use of observation and critique also. And one more thing is that comedy is not supposed to be insulting, but comedy is supposed to playful accepting of human vulnerabilities. Okay. Now, yes, next slide we have to. Last part of this video is that the elements of comedy. We have 6 elements of comedy. First one is the substance, second one is expressions and communications, third one is originality of humor, fourth one is timing and rhythm, fifth one is intelligent writing, and last one is setting. These are the 6 important elements in comedy. Substance means here the material of comedy. The material used for comedy. Which material we use it for comedy? That is like a text, words, stories and characters, which we use it for in comedies. Substance here refers to the material of the comedy. And what is the material we use? We use text, we use words, stories and also characters. All these things are called as the substance, and it is the first and very important element of comedy. Next one is expressions and communications. Next element is expressions and communication. Expressions and communication is the pertinent pillar of good comedy. It is a pertinent pillar of good comedy. Pertinent means here samarpak. Expressions and communication is a pertinent pillar of good comedy, and the ability of writer to express illicit sentiment and feeling of the character important to get response of the audience. Means here ability of the writer to express and elicit sentiments and feelings of the characters is important. For what reason? It is important to get response of audience or the reader. Next thing about this element, expressions and communication, is that until the text or a message of comedy is not clear and moving, the reader will not push into the state of delirious enjoyment. Means here text and message of comedy we need clear and moving. Text or a message of comedy is not clear and moving, then the audience will not push into the state of delirious enjoyment. He may be audience or he may be a reader, but they need the text and message should be clear and moving. So the ability of expressions and communications with readers or audience. So the ability of expressions and communication with readers or audience makes comedy good, and not only good but also divine. It makes comedy not only good but also makes divine. When we speak about the element of expressions and communications, the best examples are of the Shakespeare's comedies, Oscar Wilde comedies, or the old writer Dante. He is also the well example of expressions and communications. Our third element is originality of humor. You know that if writer copies someone's joke, it is not so effective, because we know that we have no interest in listening old jokes or learning old jokes. Old jokes do not get new laugh. We want everything new. That's why here humor needs to be creative and unique. New means writer should use new jokes, new situation, and also his humor needs to be creative and unique. Then fourth element, I think you understand these three. The fourth element is timing and rhythm. Timing is very important. Timing and rhythm is the most crucial element of any comedy. There are a rhythm and pattern of every comedy. There are a rhythm and pattern of every comedy. Use of exact words is in exact moment of the time is effective. Look here once again. Use of exact words in exact moment is very effective. Words in comedy works as a beat. Words in comedy works as a beat, and if a writer misses the beat, the comedy loses its impacts. So for effectiveness, for impressiveness, and also for uh, special, it looks special, timing and rhythm is also important. And in short, the exact word should use in exact place or at that exact moment is very effective. It uh, affects the readers or the audience. Next one is intelligent writing. In reality, comedy is a hard form of literature. It is very hard to write because when we speak about tragedy, it is very easy to make cry or make emotional, but easy to make cry or make emotional, to make audience emotional, but it is very difficult to bring smile on the face of audience or the reader. He may be audience or he may be reader, but it is difficult to bring smile on their face and make forget them their miseries also, and bring smile on their laugh or bring smile or laugh on their face. For this, for making this change or for making forget them their miseries and bring smile, it needs keen observation and intelligence also. It needs very keen observation and intelligence also. Comedy writers should keep readers' mind engaged from start to end. It is very needful. Comedy writer should keep readers' mind engaged from start to end. That's very important. Then only a comedy gain laugh. Then only comedy get laugh. Comedy needs genius and constructive in nature also. So intelligent writing should only writers should only or intelligent writing should only use us genius and constructive play in nature. Okay. Next one is setting. Setting here refers to the staging and designing of the comedy. Setting here refers to the staging and designing of the comedy, as comedy is a direct and lively conversation with the audience or the readers. Comedy has a direct and lively conversation with the audience or the reader. It needs proper and smart staging in order to connect audience or reader's mind. It needs proper and smart staging in order to connect audience or reader's mind. Familiar and everyday situations can really invest the reader in the text of the comedy. Means familiar and everyday situations which loved and liked by every common man. And that's why familiar and everyday situations can really invest the audience or the reader in the text of comedy. Here we completed today's part of this unit or today's teaching. Once again, I focuses on what we learn. We learn the definition of comedy, which says us about the light in tone and it speaks characters are placed more or less in humorous situation, and the moment is light and often mirthful also. A play ends in happiness is told in the definition. We studied definition when we speaks about what is comedy. Comedy in comedy's tone is light, amusing. It's aimed with merrymaking or happiness. It stands for vitality and life. Comedy designed to entertain the audience. It's laughing at others' mistakes and errors is not, it is not easy one. It is comedy, but it requires the intelligent use of observation and critique. Or it is not insulting, but it is accepting the human vulnerability. What we studied here. In elements of comedy, we studied six elements. Substance is the first element where we need the material of comedy such as text, words, stories, or characters. When we study the expressions and communications, it is a pertinent pillar of the good comedy, and also ability of the writer to express and elicit sentiments and emotions is very important here. The text message should be clear and moving, then only writer should bring smile on the face of the audience or the reader. Yes, or reader should enjoy the situation, then the originality of the humor. Here, copied joke is not useful because old joke do not create laugh. Every time, every reader or audience wants new joke. That's why humor needs a creative and unique, means different from the other jokes. In next slide, we see the other three elements of that comedy. Timing and rhythm is very important. It is the most crucial element. Rhythm and pattern of everyday comedy used by exact words, use of exact words in exact moments. Words work here as a beat, and that's why intelligent and keen observation is necessary thing. Intelligent writing is one more element of the comedy. It is a hard form of literature. It is very easy to cry or emotional, but difficult to bring smile or laugh on the face of the audience or the reader, or to make forget their miseries. It is also a difficult one. To make all these things, a writer should need the keen observation and intelligence. And last but not least is the setting. Here, setting refers to the staging and designing of comedy, use of familiar everyday situations. It can involve the audience or the reader in comedy. Okay, we stop here. If you cannot understand something, please contact me. I will help you. Thank you very much. I will once again explain you if necessary. Read once, twice, or thrice according to your necessity. Thank you very much.